All right, good morning. Good morning. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for being here. Thursday, May 7th, 8 a.m. on the dot. Busy day today. Get your ass up. Wake up this morning. All right, cheers to you. Cheers to everybody here. Grab a nice cup of coffee. Get the day going. Today's a long day. Today's one of those we gotta roll up our sleeves this morning. But in a good way, not in a bad way. Lakers got game 2 coming up tonight. Western Conference semifinals. Lakers, of course, taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder in OKC. We got a lot lined up for the show today. I'm going to have a guest as well, so looking forward to obviously having everybody be a part of the show, and we'll try to put the best programming we can together and get you guys ready for tonight's game. Let me give everyone a quick rundown what we got going on for the show today, and we'll take it from there. Adjustments in game 2. What to expect from the Lakers? What are they going to do in game 2? What kind of adjustments are the Lakers going to make? What can they do? What are, I think from a perspective of any confidence level that the Lakers can make it happen. It's kind of weird game 1 because I don't think they played bad. But I'm also like, is this the worst game you're going to see from the Oklahoma City Thunder? Austin Reaves tonight. Can you imagine how much is going to be on Austin Reaves' shoulders tonight? I think Reaves is going to have a good game tonight. I think he is. Let's put it this way. He ain't having another 3 for 16 night. Now, does that mean he's going to go 12 of 16 from the field? No. But I don't think the conversation by the time tonight's all said and done is just going to be about Austin Reaves like it was after game 1. We'll get into Reaves, what we got to see from him. By the way, it's already starting. I got some sound here. I might actually play this. Mike Greenberg and Michael Wilbon, and they're talking about the Lakers and you trade Austin Reaves, and the conversation's already started. So for Austin Reaves' sake, I hope he has a good game tonight. Steve McGehee, who's part of News 9 in Oklahoma City covering the Thunder, is going to join us at 8:15. So really excited to have a Thunder guest on, kind of talk a little bit more about that team, talk about where they're at, what adjustments we're going to see from them, what he liked about the Lakers, the biggest advantage that he thinks the Thunder have. So we'll spend some time with obviously a guest there from the Thunder, get their perspective. The danger of playing OKC as the series goes on, would you guys not agree with this, that you're probably going to get a better version of the Oklahoma City Thunder as we continue to go? Luka spoke yesterday. It was a long interview with the media, probably 6-7 minutes, something along those lines. Let's just say the one thing I walked away with more than anything else by the time, Luka was done having the conversation with the media, do not expect Luka in this series against the Oklahoma City Thunder. It actually almost sounds like, Lakers would have to get past OKC, and then maybe he could come back towards the end of that Western Conference final. So Luka doesn't feel like he's anywhere close. Reiterated a number of different times. I'll play you some of that sound, but reiterated a couple of different times that he's 8 weeks was the initial timeline he got when he first had the injury. Then we'll talk a little bit about the NBA news, NBA playoffs, got a couple things around the NBA, scores from the games last night, what games are going on tonight, and then we'll call it a morning. Thank you again for being here. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Already Thursday today. Things are just, what's going on here? Things are kind of flying this week. All right, let's get a couple of comments here before we get the show started. AR comes off the bench. AR wants the max. He better show up. The others need to take and hit shots to take pressure off AR. He's occupying a top defender. Got my coffee and banana bread ready. Just win tonight. Cheers to you. Cheers to you. You're ready to go. All right, let's get the show started. Let's get things started here. Because I have a guest, I kind of want to move a little bit faster this morning, just so we could, obviously so we can keep things rolling here. So game 2 tonight, I'm going to lump a couple things in here, but the conversation after game 1, there was really only one conversation. I did my post-game show yesterday. I did the morning show. It was on 570. It was on YouTube. Callers that called in, comments in the post-game show, comments yesterday. 90% of my comments were about Reaves. And if I'm being honest with you, I don't know if I remember a time where one player got that much attention following the game. It could have happened. I'm sure it's happened before, but there was so much damn attention towards Austin Reaves after game one that as we kind of start looking at the adjustments for game two, because this is the odd part about last Tuesday night's game. The odd part about Tuesday night's game is there's a portion where it's like, I don't think the Lakers played awful. I'll keep saying this. Third quarter, 6 minutes left to go, 6.5 minutes left to go. It was a 4-point game. I don't think the Lakers played awful. Now, I think there was a couple big plays that kind of swung the game. And no, I don't think the Lakers, even if Austin Reaves dropped 25 and was efficient in game one, I still don't think the Lakers are going to win that game. Or let's just put it this way. There's still a strong likelihood that the Thunder win the game. I didn't think the Lakers played bad in game one. So as we look at the adjustments in game two, some of this is you almost got to play perfect basketball. And part of the perfect basketball that I'm talking about, and I know we've kind of heard this conversation before, you've heard JJ say it, these guys got to hit their shots. And I'll get into Austin Reaves in just a second. But it's almost like they have no margin for error right now without Luka, and just the fact that they're playing the Oklahoma City Thunder. Marcus Smart, who I give a free pass to, because if anyone's complaining about Marcus Smart and his efficiency and saying, oh, this, that, go look at how many steals he had. Go look at him trying to guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for 48 minutes in a game and holding him to just 18 points. Marcus Smart did his job. Now, did Marcus Smart start jacking up shots towards the end? Yes, but the Lakers needed offense. And it's kind of, there's a little bit here where it's like, well, if nobody else is going to take the shot, then I'm going to have to. Or if Reaves isn't hitting shots, then I'll take the shots. Some of the adjustments that I think you'll see from the Lakers, I still think they're going to have this game plan of we're better off trying to let other guys score against us than we are Shai coming in and doing everything. And I think the Lakers were basically challenging the Oklahoma City Thunder in game one, challenging them to say anybody but Shai. The problem with the Thunder is they got guys that could come in and, obviously make that happen. And they don't need, if the Lakers aren't scoring 100 points, they scored 90, then they don't need 125 points to get a win. So even if they get 108, even if they get 105, that might be enough against Lakers. I think I saw this, if I'm right here. Maybe the last 4 games, Lakers are held to under 100 points. So offensively, obviously, the Lakers are not this juggernaut where everybody's got to change everything in regards to the Lake Show. Here's some of the adjustments I'd like to see tonight. I think offensively, for me, I'd love to try to get Ayton more involved. And I don't think Ayton I think in the first half he was effective, and then the Lakers kind of went away from him. Is there ways that you could try to get your bigs involved, get a couple more buckets in the paint, start the ball in the paint, and see if you can work it out? The Austin Reaves thing, we'll have that. That's kind of a separate conversation. We'll have that conversation. Luke Kennard, I'm not sure if he's going to play tonight. I know he was on the status report, but Luke Kennard's another player that's so important for the Lakers. How does he kind of fall off the map so quick? But he did. So, right out the gate, if you're looking for the Lakers to get over 100 points, you need more production from Luke Kennard. Try to feed and showcase or highlight DeAndre Ayton a little bit more. I think those are obviously 2 key objectives right there. And then, of course, Austin Reaves is going to have to play a much better game. Lakers shouldn't have lost that game by 18. They shouldn't have. The game was a lot closer than 18. They did. It kind of is what it is. But as they get ready to go tonight, I do think there are things that they can feel optimistic about. And again, nobody's asking them to go against the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's like you're up 10 going into the fourth quarter. Just have it a game going into the fourth quarter. See if you can put a little pressure on the Oklahoma City Thunder. See strategically the way, I think the way that, at least for me specifically, the way that you watched the Lakers on the defensive side. I love the concept of saying, let's double Shai at the top of the key and then make them make decisions. I think Lakers had some success. I think the most discouraging thing is when you walked away from the game. Even if you had some success when the dust settled, Lakers they still lost by, OKC even covered by the time the dust settled there. So whatever optimism that you have, I think that was a little bit of a gut punch for the Lakers. But game one is done. I still think there's a lot of opportunity for the Lakers to be better. Unfortunately, I think there's a lot of opportunity for the Thunder to improve as well. So we'll have to wait and watch that. Let me get a couple of comments in, and then we're going to have our guests come on here in just a second as well. Let me just take a look at a couple of these here. Smart's not afraid to take the shot. We need more of that. You're not wrong there. Let's see what else we have. Slee, if AR helps win this series, give him the cash, can't have anything under 30 points. To be honest, I don't even think it's about winning the series. I mean, most people are not thinking the Lakers were going to beat the Thunder. It's, can you make this a series? Can you win 2 games against OKC? Look, without having Luka, I mean, obviously the challenge that the Lakers have in front of them, OKC could say, well, we don't have Jalen Williams. They just got more talent than the Lakers. And it's not about this year, right? The idea and the concept, I've said this before, I think there's value to playing the Oklahoma City Thunder and kind of finding out just how far you are of competing for an NBA championship. So good comments here. Okay, I do want to go to our guest. So we have a guest today that is going to look at things from the Oklahoma City Thunder side of things. I want to welcome in Steve McGehee, who's part of News 9 OKC, covers the Oklahoma City Thunder, and nice enough to take some time. How are you, Steve?
Doing good. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. Appreciate you coming on. Thank you for joining the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I got 2 cups of coffee, so I'm ready to go. I'm ready to talk Thunder, Lakers, whatever we want to talk about. Let's go.
I'm behind you. I'm behind. Look, I already feel like Thunder are already up 2-1 right now. Like, you have 2 cups of coffee on me. I only have 1. Jeez, we're playing from behind this whole series.
Well, you guys are 2 hours behind, so sure. I'm at 2 hours ahead of you. So
that's true. All right, let's start with this. I'd love to kind of get your initial thoughts in Game 1. What are some of the things that stood out to you? And obviously, I know we'll get ready for Game 2 tonight, but walking away from Game 1, what are some of your big takeaways?
LA put up a fight right away. They were pretty much embarrassed in the 2 regular season games at Paycom. The game was pretty much over at halftime. And that even with Luka playing in that last game before he got hurt in the 3rd quarter. But I was really impressed with JJ Redick's game plan. Try to get the ball out of Shai's hand as fast as you can. They were double teaming him before he even crossed half court and before the other guys were down playing defense. And it took a while for Oklahoma City to adjust to that. And that's one of Mark Daigneault's strengths is, okay, you're going to zig, we're going to zag, we're going to try to match what you're doing. And so in the second half, they did a better job of creating some space for Shai. But as the Lakers found out, and we've known all season long, this team is more than just Shai, because Jalen Williams barely 33 games, I think he played in. 2 of those games he got hurt, didn't get to finish. So they've been able to play without him. And so other teams have been stressing Shai all season long, trying to get the ball out of his hands and let someone else from the Thunder beat you. And they have other weapons that can beat you as well. But I love JJ Redick. This is a great matchup between 2 good young head coaches. I could listen to JJ talk all day long because he doesn't give coach speak. He tells the truth. Sometimes his answers are short, but to the point. I like his style. I think LA has the right coach there. They don't have the right roster right now. As you mentioned, this is a good measuring stick for the franchise, for LA, to see, okay, what are we lacking here to compete with the Thunder and the Spurs and the Timberwolves moving forward?
You mentioned the game plan kind of early on, and obviously trying to take Shai out of the game. What do you think? What will be the? And I have no idea. Do Lakers do the same thing, and they decide, hey, let's stick to the same game plan. Let's try to take Shai out of it. At what point does Shai say, yeah, I don't care if you're throwing a double, I'm going to take over? It feels like he's the type of player that, let me make the right play, and he's confident enough in the rest of his roster. If it's a similar game plan to get the ball out of Shai's hands, what should we expect from Shai?
He's ready for anything because he's seen it all. They did a great job frustrating, but, Shai's going to defer to his teammates. And this has been a big topic over the last 10 days. I'm like, hey, don't forget about the tall guy underneath the basket, Chet Holmgren, alley-oops. And so Chet's getting some more dunks now, more looks. They're finding ways to get him the basketball underneath the paint. But if there's 2 on Shai, he knows what to do. He knows to get the ball to someone else, whether it be, and they have a secondary scorer in A.J. Mitchell. Crusoe had a couple of threes that went in and out, but I think he still knocked down 2 threes in the game. Thunder have such a deep bench, and they've been down this road before, to where if there's so much stress on Shai, the other guys know how to step up. And it's up to LA now in Game 2. If LA can knock down some threes, they were missing some shots as well, but Oklahoma City missed shots as well. But, there's nothing Shai unless there's 3-on-1. At some point, sometimes they did have like 3 guys converging around him, and he was quick to move the ball to give it to someone else. But quick passing is what the Thunder will have to do again in game number 2. But Shai is, as I said, he's seen it all, and that's what makes him one of the more special players in the NBA. You know, it's not all about him. He's not a ball hog. He's not a look at me guy. He likes to share the basketball with his teammates.
Yeah, it's interesting. Even, you're saying even Jared McCain, the guy only played 15 minutes, comes in, hits 4 threes, and there's a little bit. And this is what the Lakers are definitely lacking. They're lacking these young players that can come in, not just give energy, but they're real threats. Like Jared McCain came in and he played as if he's a 12-year vet, and he's been in how many different playoff series and everything else. So they got so many weapons. I'll ask, and I think this is probably more where I'd like to go with this. The players that they do have outside of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, like how comfortable are all these other guys, right? Because I think what makes a championship team is your role players are comfortable in their role. And it feels like the depth of the Oklahoma City Thunder, having 11 guys, 12 guys that they can go to, nobody seems to be complaining about playing time, any of that stuff. Like how special is that portion of the Thunder that we probably don't talk about enough?
I think it's understood when players come in, new ones come in. I'm like, oh, this is how it's done. The organization does a great job of taking care of their players on and off the court. Shai is a great leader. There's no animosity within the locker room. No one's bad-mouthing one another. No one's like rolling their eyes when they have a turnover or they're 0 for 5 from 3. It's just Hartenstein and Caruso came in last year and just fit right away. It was just incredible to see what they were able to do. And because, they're veterans, they've been on good teams before. Caruso's won one before. So Caruso was probably the huge addition for the Thunder in that regards, to explain what they're trying to do to win a title. But, McCain, he almost single-handedly outscored the Lakers bench in game number 1. He was incredible. And that was another great addition. I think he was surprised. He's mentioned that he got traded by Philadelphia. And here he is, doing well with OKC, and he loves it here. I truly believe him when he says, I love it here in Oklahoma City, and he's a good fit for them. And everybody needs 3-point shooting, and that's Jared's forte is 3-point shooting. That's something they probably looked at going into, after last year's NBA Finals run. I'm like, maybe we need a little more need some more shooting. And so they were able to get Jared McCain. Ousmane Dieng wasn't really going to fit in, at that spot. So he's doing well for Milwaukee now, and to finish up the regular season. But McCain was just a great addition. And then AJ Mitchell, barely got some run in the playoffs last year. And here, this guy's the 38th pick out of Santa Barbara, and he looks like he should be, pick number 3. So incredible.
And that's the thing, Steve,
what Sam's been able to do.
What I say, and cutting you off there, my apologies there, but I think that's the thing that, I'm watching the Oklahoma City Thunder and Lakers obviously they have new ownership now. Mark Walter, and that's going to be the new ownership group that's running the Lakers. And you look at everyone's chasing the Thunder. So there's no reason to sugarcoat this. The entire NBA is trying to figure out how to build a contender like the Oklahoma City Thunder have. But you just said AJ Mitchell, right? I've seen plenty of Laker picks over the years. A 17 pick here, an early second rounder, a late second rounder. We get so focused on what number is your pick. And I think where the value goes, it's like, no, are you finding the right guy? And then do you have a system built for that guy to come in and he could succeed off of your system? If AJ Mitchell got drafted by the Wizards, is he AJ Mitchell? I don't know. Maybe he is, maybe he's not, but that's the part to me that I think obviously a lot of teams are trying to figure out, and that the Oklahoma City Thunder have, obviously they've mastered. Kind of one question here on the Sam Presti front. We'll get back into the series. Is Sam Presti, because it feels like he can go anywhere he wants. What is about OKC that he's like, no, I want to be right here. I want to build a dynasty here. What is it? it fits his personality? Is he just like, what is it about Sam Presti and OKC where it's just this perfect marriage?
Well, he's an East Coast guy, went to school there in downtown Boston at Emerson College, a great little college, got a chance to shoot some baskets there. And there's a lot of history between Emerson College and current and former Thunder, top-notch guys, assistant GMs. Will Dawkins with the Washington also played Emerson. The name escapes me, but his right-hand man that used to be the GM for the Magic. He was the Thunder, went to the Magic and came back. I can't think of it right now. He also played at Emerson as well. But Oklahoma City, if you give it a chance, and if you like, I always say, if you like high taxes and bad traffic, then this isn't the town for you. This is not the town for you. But Sam came in and just embraced the job. He loves the challenge. I think he learned a lot from the Durant, Harden, Westbrook era. And, those picks, some of them worked out, some of them didn't. Steven Adams worked out at 12. Sabonis, I think, was at 10. And Sabonis got you Paul George. And then Paul George got you a championship with that trade to the Clippers. But I think he likes it here. And, that's kind of the take from the rest of the players. They don't live here all year long. It's not like they have to live here 12 months out of the year. They have houses elsewhere. So in the off season, plus when they do play here, they're on the road for half the schedule. So, but I think it's a good place. If you like steak and potatoes, pretty good. If you like barbecue, Mexican, we do all right. Are there bigger cities out there, better cities? The answer would be yes. It's not New York City. It's not Los Angeles. It's not Miami with the beach, but you can make it work here in Oklahoma City. So I think he likes it here. He likes the challenge. And, why leave right now? Because the lottery's coming up this weekend. Right now, they're scheduled the 12th pick in the draft, and they could move up to the top 4. And that would be like, that would be bad news for the rest. But the way they've been drafting lately and scouting players, they'll probably find a gem at 12. And 12's been a good number for them with Jalen Williams and Cason Wallace and Steven Adams. So, yeah, he could go anywhere he wanted to, and someone probably would say, "I'll write you a blank check if you come here and do this." But I think he likes it here. He has family here now. Kids are going to school. Kind of set some roots here as well. So he's done a great job with. No, it's just and think about it. Aaron Wiggins was pick number 55. Jalen Williams, Will, out of Arkansas, was a second-round pick. Isaiah Joe, Philadelphia gave up on him. We'll take him. And look what Isaiah Joe's now. So he is taking advantage of other people's mistakes. That's for sure.
It says, like I said, everybody's chasing the Oklahoma City Thunder. So it's interesting to see. And it starts at the top. And obviously they're having incredible amount of success. Is there any update? Is anybody confident Jalen Williams comes back in this series, or is there pause there?
Probably some pause. The question is, do they need him in this series? He continues to, work out behind closed doors for obvious reasons, because you don't want to get any speculation out there. I'm like, oh, he's jumping and he's shooting threes and he could play this game. Got to be very cautious, because it's already happened twice where he come back from an injury, and then a hamstring injury in Miami, and then a hamstring injury against the Suns, and then again against the Suns. So, I would say they're being very cautious with him. And, when he does come back, you got to cross your fingers and, hold your breath, because, if it happened once, it can happen again and so on. So, and we saw it with Halliburton. He knew the risk playing last year in the finals, but hey, it's the finals. You got to play, you got to give it a go. And, watch out for the Pacers next year, because they're going to get a great draft pick to go along with the healthy Halliburton, and Rick Carlisle's an outstanding coach. But that's the cart getting ahead of the horse there for next year. But I'm off topic. What was the question?
Jalen Williams. No, we're talking about Jalen Williams coming back.
I don't see him coming back in this series. But again, I'm not in that room with the trainers and the doctor and saying, yeah, he's good to go. But I don't think they need him in this series. If it gets to a game 7, it's like, we need him to play, or there may not be it tomorrow. Maybe that happens, but my educated guess on that, I don't think he plays in this series.
Steve, if Lakers are able to make this a game tonight, what and you getting a chance to watch the Thunder, obviously on a night in, night out basis, what would have to happen? I mean, and you could look at that from what the Lakers do right, maybe what the Thunder do wrong. But if we're sitting there, 6 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, this is a 1 or 2 possession game. What has to happen, and where maybe an area or two where the Thunder could it be as simple as just taking the Lakers lightly? Could it be as simple as playing down your competition? Could it be as simple as everybody keeps talking about how great the Thunder are? What would need to happen to have game 2 be a game?
Well, when you have Lakers across your chest, I don't think they're not going to be taken lightly. That's just comes with the territory. If you want to play for LA, you're going to get everyone's best shot. It comes down to, I think, shooting threes. You think about some of the games that the Thunder lost this year. That's why I thought the Suns may win a game in the series, because I saw the Thunder lose in Phoenix in the regular season because Dillon Brooks and Booker got hot late from behind the arc, and Oklahoma City wasn't able to make those shots. So it comes down to 3-point shooting. Kennard, Smart, LeBron. To beat
Reaves,
the Thunder.
Don't forget Reaves. If you forget Reaves, every Laker fan will remind you. Reaves.
Yeah. Well, he played here in this area, so in college for a little bit. So we haven't forgotten about Austin Reaves, and Marcus Smart played down the road in Stillwater. So, but yeah, you got to make your threes. If you're not making your threes late, so if they're down 6, you can get these guys. It's as simple as just knocking down corner threes or 3-pointers elsewhere, because they are vulnerable, they are beatable, but you're not going to beat the Thunder by knocking down 10 or 11 or 12 threes. It's got to be in the 16, 17, 18 range.
All right, final one I have for you, and I appreciate you taking some time this morning here.
Sure.
Lakers got the Thunder coming up tonight. As you look at just kind of the big picture here, and let's just say this series went as most people think it's going to be, if it's Oklahoma City and San Antonio, do you think San Antonio's got a legitimate shot here to take out the Oklahoma City Thunder?
Oh, yeah, they certainly do. They got to get past Minnesota first.
You're right.
They did what they had to do last night. That was almost predictable a little bit.
Sure.
Edwards, I would imagine, will play more, but San Antonio is a tough place to win. So that was an incredible win by Minnesota in game 1. Target Center is just as loud. So, we'll see what San Antonio does.
Can I ask you either one of them? Yeah. Like, would Minnesota be a big headache for the Thunder as well? Like, just either one of those matchups. Okay.
I think so, too, because, Minnesota was knocked out by the Thunder last year in 5 games. So there's some motivation there.
Sure.
If they should meet again. Looks like there would be motivation for the Thunder, since their regular season record against the Spurs was not that great, even though I think they liked the way they played in the last 2 meetings with San Antonio. Oklahoma City went down there with 8 people in the last time they played, and it was a 4-point game with 2 minutes to go. Wembanyama had to play the whole game. We're talking about guys like Wiggins. The reserves were playing. Shai wasn't there. Jalen Williams wasn't there. Chet wasn't there. Hartenstein wasn't there. And so that was a close game. But, of course, on the other side, normally teams tend to relax when you find out their star players are not playing. But still, though, in the fourth quarter, to be only down 4 with 2 minutes to go, I thought was pretty impressive. But I think they're equal. I think Spurs and Timberwolves. It's going to be a 7-game series. But they got to get past Minnesota first, because Target Center is not an easy place to win. Those fans are on you all the time.
You saw Denver, right? Denver, even without Anthony Edwards, couldn't get that W in Minnesota to force a game 7. So you're right about that.
Yeah.
Even with Jokic,
I can't figure out Denver. I thought they were going to be a thorn in OKC's side this year in the playoffs. That was a team avoid Denver at all costs. But I'm not sure what happened there internally. But Denver is a much better team than what they shouldn't be bounced out in round 1.
Yeah, I was on your train. I was saying since November, I'm like, watch out for Denver. And Denver about 34 times told me, don't watch out for us. And then they finally were eliminated, and I was still saying it. So I'm with you on that. Steve, great stuff. It's great to meet you, and I appreciate you taking the time to obviously come on the show and the podcast. And it's fun to kind of see things from Oklahoma City perspective. So thank you for the time.
All right. Thanks for having me on. I'm heading your way tomorrow at 2:00.
All right. Come on. And by the way, you wanted some traffic and some higher taxes? Come on over. It's beautiful Southern California. So it's waiting for you.
Last time I landed in Burbank. This time I'm landing at LAX. So wish me luck.
Good luck. Burbank would have been. Burbank was a smart choice that first time. All right, Steve. We'll see you. Safe travels, and we'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
Thank you, man. All right, good stuff there. All right, and I met the guy. Very nice guy. It's always interesting when you do some of these pods and you run into somebody that you haven't met before. But yeah, very nice conversation there. Man, I'll tell you the one thing that stuck out to me most, what he said when he's talking about like AJ Mitchell, right? When they start talking about some of these guys deeper in the draft. And this is not just, oh my gosh, the Thunder found another guy. It's not just that. And this is why, I kind of continue to emphasize it's a good thing for the Lakers to play the Thunder. It's a good thing for ownership to see just how far they are and everything else. It's a system, right? Like if you're a good company, you can hire somebody that was not having success somewhere else, but that person can come within your company and now kind of be within a system. They're trained properly. They find, you try to highlight their strengths, their weaknesses, this and that. And then all of a sudden they're having some success at your company. Is it the individual that gets credit or is it the system and the company? And I think that's kind of what the Oklahoma City Thunder are right now. The Thunder are a very, very well-ran business that they grab kids, they were interns in college and then they turn them into an employee and then they're part of their culture. And then next thing you know, a couple years, they're having as much success as anybody within the company. And you got guys that have been there for 10 years and people that have been there for 2 years. Like that's kind of the Oklahoma City Thunder. I know that's big picture there and it's not necessarily kind of prepping you for game 2, but yeah, it's a good conversation. I like what he said too. He kind of came out the gate. He's like, you guys got the right head coach, JJ Redick. I think I told you guys I was listening to the Thunder broadcast on Tuesday, part of the first half in game 1. Tell you what, if anybody who had questions about JJ Redick coming into the playoffs or coming into this year, I think a lot of those questions have quieted down. All those questions have gone towards Austin Reaves. I'll tell you that much. All right, I got a few different clips that I want to play for everybody. I also definitely want to get to everybody's comments, so I'm going to do that here in just a second. Let me just by the way, I like this. Great guest, W guest, good info. Yeah, good and a nice enough guy. Like he's not coming on here running his mouth. Thunder own the Lakers, Some of these pods, I'm like, what's going on here? But just relax here for a second. Spurs can beat OKC. Spurs OKC is the future of basketball. You're right about that. If the Lakers win one game this series, I'll be content. I get that. There's definitely some people. By the way, can I just say this? He was definitely not trying to be disrespectful. But when he's like, yeah, they don't need him. They don't need J-Dub against the Lakers. I'm like, Jesus, can you say it a little bit differently? I mean, for the love of God, people have families over here. People have families. Like, what do you think? You think Jalen Williams will come back? No, he's fine. He's in Europe. He's touring Europe for a couple of days. He'll be back. He'll be back in the Western Conference Finals. All right, let's I got some sound that I want to play. That's kind of funny. I got some sound I want to play on Michael Wilbon. I'm going to play it in just a second. And this is going to kind of take us back to the Reaves conversation here for a quick second. Before I do so, give a shout out to one of our partners. Shout out to Brad Wallace and the Wallace Firm. Serious injury, wrongful death case. We've talked about this before. There's a website. You just go to wallacewins.com/Sliwa if you need some more information, if you are looking for a free consultation, if you would like to get in touch with the best in the business, somebody that can represent anybody in the state of California, just get in touch with them because you need them, or just get in touch with them is because you want to just have a professional that can guide you in the right direction. This is not a hard sell or anything like that. He's a great partner. I know he appreciates this partnership. It's great branding for their firm and their business. And obviously for us, it's just a great partner of somebody that wants to see this channel succeed. So shout out to Brad Wallace and the Wallace Firm, wallacewins.com/Sliwa. That's wallacewins.com/Sliwa. I need to do my show from his studio on Monday. I haven't told him yet. Maybe I should probably tell him. Maybe I should ask him. How about that? Maybe I should ask him. All right, let's keep moving here. Let's play. I want to play something here, and I think this is going to tell you a little bit of where I'm going with this. But Mike Greenberg was talking with Michael Wilbon, and look how quick things have changed through one game against the Thunder. Okay. And I'll explain to you what I mean here. Austin Reaves has a bad performance. Lakers lose game 1 by 18. Nobody's really expecting Luka to come back. I'll give you some more info on the Luka stuff here in just a second. Anyways, all these different things that I just mentioned, right? Look how quick the conversation is changing in regards to the future of the Lakers. What do they do with Reaves? This, that. For the love of God, for Austin Reaves' sake, can you have a good game tonight so that people can let you breathe for a second? I could sit here and I could tell you, yeah, but he's coming back from injury, this, that, which is true. I think there's actually truth to all of that. But I think no matter what, there's a narrative being played out for Austin Reaves that unless he plays better, this is going to be the narrative. Take a listen here. This is Wilbon with Mike Greenberg, and they're already talking about the Lakers' future. Again, we don't need to pay attention to the exact details of the conversation, but it's look where the narrative is already going. Take a listen.
If you're in charge there, are you looking at the situation saying, I'm in a building around Luka, I'm going to give Austin Reaves a huge contract. I'm going to bring LeBron back another year if he's willing to make some sort of agreement on money.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try and put pieces around that and make a run at a title next year. Does that work? Is that the way you would go about it if you were the Lakers?
No, not when I look at Oklahoma City and San Antonio and Minnesota. They're all ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And Denver's got to make moves too. You're going against another team that is ahead of you or right with you. Denver's got to do something with that team around Joker. They're not going to just come back like they first round exit out. So no, I don't know. You mentioned Reaves. He's an interesting piece and situation. There's some places where Reaves can help in a lot of places. He's a really good player.
Right.
Is he have to be with Luka and LeBron? Really? They got some needs on that team. I don't know, as we look at this now, who are you going to move? What are you going to do? Hachimura. How valuable a piece is he? What can you package? What can you do?
The funny thing is, so just listening to that conversation, I think the route that they're trying to get to, which I think is the most important part of the conversation, right? If you're going to try to compete for an NBA championship, okay, well, how do you work with the pieces that you have? And Reeves' name is now like aggressively already being talked about. It's like, yeah, can't be in LA. By the way, I think what people are failing to realize in the Reeves conversation, which I still think the Lakers will bring back unless there's some type of a sign and trade, he gets a say in what happens in the summer. This is not Austin Reaves in a 4-year deal and, the Lakers can just shop him wherever they want to shop him. Rui Hachimura is an unrestricted free agent this summer. Rui is going to have a say in where he goes and what he does. And I think Rui Hachimura, every game that goes by, I think Rui is paying himself even more and making himself more valuable, whether that's with the Lakers or another team. Don't be surprised if he's not with the Lakers, don't be surprised for Rui to end up on a contender because he's clearly proven he's a professional. He plays hard. He can hit open threes, understands the game well, actually playing, I think, better defensively. But the narrative, I think to me, we're already, and I think Wilbon's saying if you just ran it back next year, let's say you're like, hey, you know what? Luka wasn't healthy and Reaves wasn't, 100% healthy. Let's run it back. Are the Lakers going to beat San Antonio, OKC, Denver, Minnesota? You don't know that. There's no guarantees that they're going to beat that. So they definitely can't run it back. I mean, if there's a team in the Western Conference, there's probably a couple of teams that can't run it back. But, Lakers are certainly one of those teams. I don't think you could just say, well, run it back. Now, are we going so far out of the way? We're not in the offseason yet. It's just 1-0. I mean, maybe miraculously Lakers can grab game 2. I don't think a lot of people feel confident about that, but maybe they grab game 3 and it's 2-1. Like, clearly there's still a lot more series left, but that's where the conversation is going. And that's where, people are talking. I saw this article this morning, Bill Plaschke in the LA Times. Show Austin Reaves the money, ? Lakers might have second thoughts after game 1 meltdown. The storylines around Austin Reaves, I saw this that Eric put in the notes here. Austin Reaves has never scored more than 23 points in a playoff game. He's done it 5 times. The point that I'm trying to make is, as you're going into tonight's game, the storyline coming out of game one was all about Austin Reaves. The storyline going into game two is going to be all about Austin Reaves. And then the question is going to be, when I'm doing my post-game show tonight, can I sit there and say, hey, Reaves played well. Reaves had a respectable game. Even if Lakers lose the game, Reaves was productive. He was, he shot 50% from the field. He hit 50% of his threes. He got to the free throw line, maybe not 50% of his threes, but you guys know what I'm referring to. There's going to be a lot of conversation that as we get to tonight, that's still going to be around one freaking player, and it's going to be around Austin Reaves. If they got any shot tonight, I'll tell you what happens if they're going to win tonight. Forget even winning. It's a game in the fourth quarter. Here's what has to happen, okay? LeBron's going to be great. I don't care about LeBron. LeBron basically tells you every single night, just chalk me up for 27, 7, and 7. Like, that's basically LeBron's already saying that. Now, LeBron also has games where he's going to struggle. Like, I think game one was one of those. LeBron's like, if there's a game to steal, it's got to be one. I got to be great tonight. You can't ask LeBron to do that every single night, but I got more confidence in LeBron than anybody else on that roster. So LeBron's got to be great. I'm going to just keep going down the list. DeAndre, they need one of those 18 and 12 performances. Jackson Hayes, they need 7 and 7. Luke Kennard, if he's obviously playing, he's listed as questionable for tonight's game. Can you get 10 or 12 from Kennard? Marcus Smart, you need another 15 from, plus defense on Shai. Rui, you need 21 from. And then there's Austin Reaves. Like, you're supposed to be the most potent electric scorer that the Lakers have. Again, LeBron's going to do everything, right? But Austin Reaves, your job is like, go put the ball in the bucket. And they're going to need, obviously, a great performance from Austin Reaves tonight. And with all of that, you're not guaranteed to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. So that's obviously the challenge with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And that's what we're all kind of paying attention to now as we get ready for game two. But that's one thing that I saw. And, for me, like I said, just kind of getting a chance to see all the storylines. Everything is about Austin Reaves. So the pressure's on him to make it happen. I think he has a good game tonight. That's what I think. I think Austin Reaves ends up having a good game tonight. All right, let's take a look at some of your comments here. I've been so disrespectful to the comments here. Haven't looked at any of the comments. All right, let's get a couple in here. That guy could talk, Alan. If you're talking about the guest, he was great. That guy was phenomenal. He was a really nice guy, too. Very respectful, the whole thing. AR needs 35 tonight. By the way, thank you, Intel, for the super. Appreciate you. AR needs to score 35 tonight. OKC alone with Mitchell and Chet would beat us. Damn. Now we don't. Now they don't even need Shai. All right, let's get some more in here. Rui has real value for a championship team. AR doesn't. Rui stock is rising. AR stock falling. I think no matter what happens, something to keep in mind in regards to Austin Reaves. Man, we have so much time to talk Austin Reaves in the summer. Obviously, that could be happening. That could start in a week, the offseason for the Lakers. But I think the thing that I would say about Austin Reaves, to me, that I pay most attention to, his cap hold on the Lakers this upcoming year would be $20 million. So there's a lot of value in that, right? So even if he signs for 35 a year, only 20 goes against your actual salary cap, against your books. After this year, that total gets a lot higher, or it at least goes to whatever your actual average annual salary is. I say that because I'm going to continue to, emphasize this. At least for me, I think they sign him. They have that as an asset. They take advantage of that, that $20 million that goes against the books this year or next year for next season. And then I think it's all kind of like, all right, after that, well, whatever happens, happens. They got to try to build a championship roster, and they'll do whatever they need to do to build a championship roster. All right, let's keep going here. I don't get it. Lakers have a really young core of players that play very well basketball, yet JJ not giving them any minutes. They are young and athletic. Why not play them considering they'll be out? Yeah, I mean, your game one against the Oklahoma City Thunder, against the defending champs. Like, is this the time where you're saying, let me throw a Thero in? By the way, if you told me you gave a Thero 7 or 8 minutes, I'm not going to be like, well, they lost this game because Thero played. You play Bronny 7 or 8 minutes? I mean, sure, I guess you can. But you don't think these guys are going to be so confused on the floor against the Oklahoma City Thunder? Like, is this the team that you're saying, hey, I want to try something different against the Thunder? I think they do have to depend on, some of these vets, guys that have been in the playoffs in the past, guys that have experience. I don't think that's uncommon. I don't think that's uncommon. Yeah, here's more that Rui stock is rising. I agree with that. Lakers better bench Jake. I've seen this before. I've seen this a couple different times now. I've seen this on Jake LaRavia. LaRavia's, listen, he's clearly the last couple of months, he's not playing well. Panics, doesn't seem comfortable in the moment. And, Jake, I'm not trying to make an argument for Jake LaRavia, but I also don't have any expectations for LaRavia. If he can go in there, play a little bit of defense, grab a couple of rebounds, and then get subbed out, I think that's all they're asking him to do. So you're not winning or losing the game because of Jake LaRavia. I'm expected to be disappointed by Austin again with the popcorn. Jesus. And the popcorn? I mean, you couldn't have said that without the popcorn? The Reaves hate right now is ridiculous. He just came back from an injury. We weren't even supposed to make it to the second round. Let's support our team and hope for a good offseason. Eli, I think here's the problem. I think Austin can help himself, but you can't be – Austin Reaves did something that no NBA player has done, no Laker player has done in 35 years. He shot whatever the percentage was, right? He was 3 of 16 from the field. That's the worst shooting percentage of any Laker player in the playoffs in 35 years. So Austin Reaves doesn't have to go out there and drop 35, but he can't go 3 of 16. That was the problem. And the other problem is like Lakers were kind of hanging around. So that also didn't help. Plus, Austin Reaves has not had good postseason performances in the past. So I think it's a combination of things. You're right. The hate is louder than I've ever seen it, but Reaves isn't helping himself. Let's put it that way. Okay, I do want to switch gears here. 18.8% is what he shot. Thanks, Eric. By the way, Rui, 12 straight games shooting 50% from three. Jesus, that's impressive. That is freaking wildly impressive. I don't think they do this, but I've seen this suggestion a few different times. Here's another one. Austin is a $25 million six-man any more than he is in a asset. He's a bad contract, no bad contracts. Well, somebody's going to pay more than 25, I'll tell you that. And they might not be competing for a championship, so I don't disagree with what you're saying. I'm just telling you that that's probably going to be the case. All right, let's jump around here. I got some Luka sound that I want to play. Give me 2 seconds to do so. Let's give another shout out to one of our partners here. Shout out to, of course, Harrah's Resort SoCal. HarrahSoCal.com is the website. If you're looking for a staycation, you're out here in Southern California. You're about 1 to 2 hours away from wherever you are in Southern California going to Harrah's Resort. Beautiful resort, phenomenal place, great entertainment, musicians, comedians, you name it. You want great restaurants, you got Hell's Kitchen. You want a beautiful resort that does have a pool that's kid-friendly. You got the lazy river. You want to just hang out with some friends or your partner or something like that. You got the swim-up bar that's obviously there for the adults. Beautiful, beautiful resort and located in North San Diego in the Palomar Mountains. I would just suggest go to the website, HarrahSoCal.com. If you're interested in a staycation, a proud partner, the weather's going to be getting nicer. That's a great place to spend a couple of days. HarrahSoCal.com, the website again, HarrahSoCal.com. All right, let's play. I want to play a clip here of Luka. So Luka, I think I mentioned this. Luka ended up maybe speaking for 7 minutes, 8 minutes, something along those lines. And he did this yesterday. And I thought it was interesting because I think the Lakers giving him a chance to talk to the media, there was a little bit of like, hey, what does that mean? I mean, Luka's coming back. I think Luka all but told everybody yesterday that he's not coming back this series. And obviously, if the Lakers can't get past the Thunder, which nobody's expecting them to, then Luka's season is going to end on the bench. And he's not going to get a chance since April 2nd to do anything. And the Lakers are kind of closing in. We're getting a little bit closer now to 5 weeks of his injury. I'm going to forward some of this. He hit on a lot of different things. It's tough to watch, the Lakers play. It's tough not to be there. He's proud of what the team did in the first round. But I think the just pure basketball portion of this, by the way, this video, Michael Duarte, California Post. So just a heads up here, that's where the video is coming from on Twitter. But to me, the main thing to take away in regards to where we're sitting today, it doesn't sound like Luka's coming back. Take a listen. Dave McMenamin's asking a question and Luka's responding.
Do you have an intention with a series just back to LA to try to ramp it up to see if it's possible to play?
I'm just doing everything I can. Like I said, every day I'm doing stuff I'm supposed to do. Obviously recovering now, I'm working. Like I said, doctor said 8 weeks at the beginning of the first MRI. So, just going day by day, and I feel better every day.
Doctor said 8 weeks. He said that probably maybe 3 times during that interview. 3 different times he referenced the initial report was I'm out for 8 weeks. So we were talking about, hey, is there a chance he could come back in the first round? His chance to come. I mean, he got injured April 2nd. It's May 7th. 5 weeks would be, next Tuesday or whatever that date is, right? The 9th or something like that. Yeah, no, actually, no, it would be on Saturday. Would be 5 weeks. Guy would have a long way to go. I mean, so I think what I took away from this, and we could play, there's another clip here I'm going to play from Brian Windhorst on Get Up, but I think what it felt like what Luka, the message he was sending yesterday was like, guys, they told me 8 weeks. Like, I'm trying to come back, but it doesn't seem like he's anywhere close to coming back. So if you were holding out any hope that you might see Luka at some point in this series, I wouldn't feel too confident about that. And, I think there is I think for the team, it's like better to just know, is he coming? Is he not going? Or is he coming or is he not coming? And I think it's clear that we're starting to see, Eric, let's load up that Brian Windhorst one. I think it's clear that we're starting to see here that, there's it's much more realistic that you're not going to get Luka in this series. And then really even if they made it to the Western Conference Finals, you probably wouldn't get Luka. But take a listen to Brian Windhorst kind of further expanding on it.
8 weeks, it's not been anywhere near 8 weeks to this point. Windman, does it sound like, or from what you're understanding, are we going to see Luka Doncic again in this series?
Yeah, he showed his cards because they obviously had never said 8 weeks before yesterday. And look, when you're talking about an injury like this, you're really never 100% sure. Maybe it could be a little bit shorter. Maybe it could be a little bit longer. But, I mean, they said grade 2 hamstring strain, so it wasn't like they were hiding it. But obviously the 8-week timeline, that would be carrying us into the NBA Finals. Yeah. And so maybe he's a little bit ahead of that schedule. But he did say he's running, so that's a good sign. But no, I mean, and by the way, I don't think the Lakers have been under the delusion that he is going to come back. I think they've gone into this series with Oklahoma City knowing he's not going to be there. And he articulated that in a way that's clear. And so basically what I would say is, because I feel like every single day here in LA, people are asking me, when is Luka coming back? When is Luka coming back? You can push that aside. Focus on what the Lakers have to try to piece together tonight in this series. Luka Doncic is not coming to the rescue.
All right, that's Windhorst right there. Obviously hitting a little bit further on. Let me see what we got here. Hitting a little bit further on, obviously what can happen from there. Okay, let me take a look here. I want to take a look at a couple of the comments here. I saw this one here, William. We have 0 chance of winning this series, unfortunately. So Luka might as well not come back, period. We need to trade all the great hypes, get some real players with athleticism. Yeah, by the way, I think there is a little bit now too of paying attention to, I think there's a little bit, at least in my opinion. It's like, yeah, just if you got the Oklahoma City Thunder, you're probably not going to get past the Thunder anyways. Do you really want to risk bringing Luka back? The answer is no. And again, if he was good, if Luka was good to go and it's like, hey, he's set and he's ready to go. I saw something JJ Redick said at some point, saying something to the effect of when he's healthy, he'll be healthy. When he tells us he's good to go, then we'll worry about that. And I think all of these guys are just saying this is not going to happen. So let's stop even talking about it. And I think last night this is probably the last time I'm talking about Luka until the offseason. So, because I just don't think there's anything else to talk about in regards to Luka. He's not coming back this series. Don't expect him back. And, obviously you got the challenge of the Thunder. All right, let's see what else we have here. Birthday, May 17th, Lakers in 7. Send some love. Mateo, happy birthday on May 17th. It's a little early. That's a 10-day. We could be well into the offseason by then. We could have all booked our tickets to Cancun by then. Mateo, happy birthday, brother. Thank you for the super there. Appreciate you. All right, let me get one more in here. My prediction, if Luka doesn't stop with the playing ball overseas every offseason, then he will be hurt every year for the playoffs. He doesn't care about winning an NBA championship. I wildly disagree with you on that one. I do think he cares about winning a championship. Yeah, a lot of these guys, if they do play international ball, they're playing for their country. I mean, playing for the country means something. It's very, very important to them. So I can't. And listen, maybe there's an adjustment there. Maybe it's like, no, I got to spend all off season just getting my body rested and ready to go for the NBA season. But yeah, pretty sure Luka cares about winning an NBA championship. And I'm also sure that that's all the Lakers care about. So that's going to be part of their marriage. All right, let's talk some NBA news. Let's talk NBA playoffs, and then we're going to get the hell out of here until tonight. Well, we'll come back on tonight. Let me hit on, let's see, a couple quick things here. Let me get some NBA news into the mix. Do I do NBA news? No, let me just do the playoff games real quick, and then I'll get into NBA news because there was a couple interesting things around the NBA yesterday that I want to hit on. Knicks take a 2-0 lead. My freaking Sixers, man. We had it. We had it. My Hawks had it. My Sixers had it. This was actually a closer game than I thought. Joel Embiid did not play. Multiple injuries. 4 Knicks starters in double figures. Guys, Knicks going to the finals. It kind of feels like the Knicks are the team to beat in the Eastern Conference. I picked Pistons on my radio show that I do in San Diego, but I think there was some hate in me there. I picked Pistons. We'll see what happens. Spurs demolished it. What the hell happened yesterday? Like, if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves, you're saying to yourself, hey, we grabbed one game. We took home court from the San Antonio Spurs. They lost by 38 yesterday. Most points in a playoff game for the Spurs since 1983. They dropped 133. Spurs led by 47 at one point in the fourth quarter. 6 Spurs in double figures, all 5 starters, plus Dylan Harper. By the way, Dylan Harper, I don't know if you guys are watching Dylan Harper at all. Dude's a stud. Remember, Dylan Harper was the second pick of the draft. Dallas had the first pick. They get Cooper Flagg. Spurs got the second pick with Dylan Harper. He's a stud too. Anthony Edwards came off the bench, a minus 33 in 24 minutes. Just crazy how different of a game from game 1 to game 2. So something to keep in mind there. Again, Minnesota did exactly what they're supposed to do. How quick they're able to erase that game and to go into game 3. Maybe they're just fine, but losing by 38 in game 2. Cavs at Pistons, game 2 tonight at 4:30. Pistons lead the series 1-0. And of course, Lakers at the Thunder for game 2. What time is the game time? Is it 6 or 6:30? Double check here. Did I convince myself it was 6:30? 6:30 tonight. So 4 o'clock, Pistons and the Cavs. Lakers, Thunder, 6:30. I like this. They're spreading the games out. I don't understand what they did in game 1 where they're like overlapping game times. Why would they do that? All right, top NBA stories. Couple NBA stories that I got here. The Athletic pulled 161 players anonymously across the NBA. These are the results. Most underrated. I'm going to read a couple of these because I think it's interesting. Most underrated player in the NBA, tied for first between Jalen Johnson and Derek White. Okay. Most overrated player in the NBA, Şengün got 12% of the vote. Rudy Gobert and Trae Young tied for second at 8.6%. Why does everybody hate Gobert? I'm still trying to figure it out. Şengün, most overrated. Yeah, he's probably overrated. Most overrated in the NBA? All right, maybe you can make a case for it. You know who else was on this list? Luka made this list. As did Avdia, as did Scotty Barnes, as did Pascal Siakam. Some hate in the NBA going on amongst some of these players. Besides their current coach, which coach impresses them the most? Joe Mazzulla was number 1. JJ Redick was 8th. Besides your own coach, who is least impressive? Brian Keefe of the Wizards, Doc Rivers 2nd, JJ Redick tied for 10th. So Redick on both of those lists. And then the last one I'm going to put on here, Bucks defensive player or best defensive player, Wemby in a landslide, 41%. Everybody thinks, again, from the player's perspective. Last NBA story I got to read a couple comments. We're going to call it a day. Bucks owner wants Giannis debacle settled before the draft. He says, I just think before the draft is a natural time. Because if Giannis does play somewhere else, we've got to have a lot of assets. That's John's job to do. And if he's here, then you build the team differently. I'm so sick of the Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm so sick of that story. And this is all on Giannis, to be honest with you. Giannis has made this just such a... I'm just so sick of the story. Giannis, either freaking stay or leave. Jesus. It's like a relationship. And this couple does is fight. And like your friends are like, I can't hang out with this couple anymore. I can't do it. All right, let me read a couple more of these, and then we're going to get out of here. Back on tonight, by the way. So just another reminder here as far as what tonight looks like. Game's at 6:30, so probably post game around 9:30. We'll come on for the post game show. We should trade AR this season before the trade deadline, before he got exposed in the playoffs like he always does. I never thought Luka was coming back at all for the playoffs in general. I had no clue why Lakers media and fans kept pushing this, but all good. But I think the initial, if I'm right here, I think the initial was like 4 to 6 weeks he was out. Maybe they said that. Maybe they didn't say that. Maybe that was just what everybody read for a grade 2 strain. Because I think a grade 1 strain was 1 to 2 weeks, which I think is Jalen Williams, and he's already been out now for 2.5 weeks. Maybe they don't even use him. We all knew Şengün, most overrated. Giannis to the Lakers. How? So the question is how? And if you're going to get Giannis, what you need is for Giannis Antetokounmpo to come out and say, I want to be a Los Angeles Laker. I don't care where you trade me to. But if you don't trade me to the Los Angeles Lakers, I'm going to sign with them when I'm an unrestricted free agent the following summer. That's the only way that's going to be able to happen. All right, my people, good stuff today. Thank you very much for being here. Shout out to our guests that joined the show as well, Steve McGehee at a News 9. Thank you to Brad Wallace and the Wallace Firm. Thank you to Harrah's Resort SoCal. Shout out to Eric Scolars producing the show in the background. Hope you guys have a great rest of your morning. I will see you guys tonight at about 9:30 after the Lakers take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Have a great rest of your day.